guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be filming in my, well, first of all, in my legitimate actual second home. This is my whole gaming computer setup. If you guys don't know, I stream video games on Twitch. If you ever want to follow me, I'll be sure to leave it in the description box for you guys. But I'm on here pretty much every single day and I play video games and it's a lot of fun. Some are really good and some are really bad. So if you ever want to come hang out, please do that. It'd make me very happy. Okay, so today we're going to be filming a video of me exposing my birth chart and basically seeing if it's accurate, how it's affected me, because it's going to talk about how I am with friendships, arguments, relationships, family, everything. So we're going to go through my birth chart and determine if we feel, or if I feel, it's an actual representation of me. By the way, this video is not sponsored. I'm just going to be using this app called CoStar because I found out about it through a lot of my friends. That's just the app that I'm going to use. I love checking my horoscopes and astrological shenanigans through there, so I figure that is what we'll use for this. In order to find out your actual birth chart, just quickly on the internet, you need to know the city that you were born in, obviously your birth date, month, day, and year. I hope you know that. And you also need to know the time that you were born, so you can often find that on your birth certificate. Guys, I got my whole birth chart right here on this handy dandy little phone. I didn't know, I knew that you had your, like your main sign, and then you've got your rising and you've got your moon. But apparently you've got a Jupiter sign, you've got a Pluto, you've got a sign for every single planet, which makes sense because obviously the signs were in different areas at the time that they were in different alignments of the stars and the planets. So first of all, guys, I'm a Leo. I was born July 23rd. Apparently now that means that you're a Cancer because I guess the astrological signs have changed since, and now if you were on the cusp, you ended up in an, I honestly don't know, but I'm still a Leo. I'm on the cusp of first day of Leo and sometimes last day of Cancer, which makes sense. I feel like I relate to both of those signs. According to these charts, my sun sign is a Leo, my rising is a Cancer, and my moon sign is an Aquarius, and then aside from that, we'll just go into the rest as we go through. So the first one says, Sun in Leo, the sun determines your ego, identity, and role in life. It is the core of who you are and is the sign you're most likely to already know. Your sun is in Leo, meaning you're fundamentally bold and proud. You love attention and to be cared for. Yikes! Maybe. But you pay it back in kind with your charm and your ability to make people feel better when they're blue. You know what your skills are and how to use them. It's in your first house, meaning you feel the need to distinguish yourself from others through yourself and self-image, and because it's your first house, your sun in Leo is hyper present in your personality. I've always felt like I connected with a Leo 1000%. Other signs, sure, maybe I share some of the qualities, but when I read about Leos, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much who I am. I 1000% am a bold and proud person. I've been told in the past, which it used to really offend me, and I don't know why, maybe it's a Leo thing, but I'd be told that people would be intimidated to approach me because I called so much attention to myself that I guess in the sense like I always made my presence known when I was around new people, so people were too intimidated to approach me because I don't know if my energy was just like crazy or I don't know what it is, but I've always been told that, so I completely agree with that so far. I do love attention and I do love to be cared for. Sorry, I mean I don't, but like I do, you know what I mean? And I do honestly think that I have an ability to make people feel better because I'll do anything I have to do in order to make somebody smile again because I hate seeing people upset. I agree, obviously, with Sun in Leo. I know the most about this. Moon in Aquarius. The moon rules your emotions, moods, and feelings. So this is for all of you guys. So it's important to know if you guys go and do this for yourself, these are what the meanings are so that you can see how you most identify with these signs. This is likely the sign you most think of yourself as, which, since it reflects your personality, when you're alone or deeply comfortable. Your moon is in Aquarius, meaning your emotional self is intuitive, observant, detached, and rational. You are often in your own world but are scared of how you truly feel. It's in your 8th house, meaning you find security and safety through darkness, taboos, rebirth, sex, and transformation. Oh boy. Okay. Wowie. Wow. Yeah, I am a generally intuitive person. I am very observant and I'm detached in the sense, it's true when I'm alone and you guys don't ever really see this on social media, but when my friends come to me and there's an issue going on and they're really stressed out about something, I literally detach myself from the situation and I look at it from a completely rational perspective as opposed to allowing my emotions and feelings to get involved. However, I think that has come with age because I talked to Jasmine like 2 years ago and I was very emotionally involved, but now I just tend to observe. I tend to just be very rational and hope that people can figure out what the situation is. It's happened on multiple occasions, and that's actually why people come to me for advice, because they know that I can assess the situation and advise from somebody who's looking at it from the outside in rather than being emotionally invested. And I think that sometimes in life you need friends like that. I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but you know what I mean. I don't know, man, this makes me feel like I'm kind of like a witch or something, because and I don't know what they mean by rebirth, because I don't, am I being rebirthed? I don't know. Moving on to rising in Cancer. Your ascendant is the mask you present to people. It can be seen in your personal style and how you come off to people when you first meet. So this is more so how people view me. Some say it becomes less relevant as you get older. It changes every 2 hours. So if it doesn't make sense, text your mom to confirm your birth. Oh, it changes every 2 hours that you were birthed. So if you thought you were born at 3 a.m. and you were actually born at 5 a.m., it could be a completely different sign. Your ascendant is in Cancer, meaning you come across as gentle, intuitive, and warm, though some may regard this as overly emotional or sensitive to criticism. So I don't know if I'm at that stage where it changes as you get older, because this is very accurate. Yeah, I'd say I think it depends on where I'm at that day, because I do have days where, or just phases in my life where when I meet people, I'm very kind of more reserved and calm and not as abrasive and like in people's face. So maybe that might make sense, especially for people that first meet me. But then again, I don't know, because earlier I was saying I've had people say they're intimidated. It just literally depends on who I'm around. If I'm around my closest friends, then yeah, I'm my true Leo self. But if I'm in a group where I don't know anybody, 1000% I do come across as gentle, dismissive, and kind of to myself, I guess warm. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, I would say I'm warm. But I am overly emotional and I am incredibly sensitive to criticism, and it's one of my biggest downfalls, and it's something I'm so not proud of and something I'm genuinely every day striving to change, because I'm a naturally incredibly defensive person. So if I feel that somebody is making a tear at my character or judging or accusing or anything, criticizing, I tend to feel like I have to defend myself and protect myself, because yeah, and so that obviously would explain the emotional or sensitiveness, because it stresses me out. Now we're on to Mercury in Cancer. So Mercury determines how you communicate, talk, think, and process information. It also indicates how you learn. It's the mind's planet. Mercury is in Cancer yet again, meaning your intellect is emotional and empathetic. You have a strong intuition and a skill for diplomacy, but you may instead favor volatility and irrationality. Sighing is a favored mode of communication. It's in your 12th house, meaning you are curious about and inclined to analyze your secrets, dreams, and mental health. This feels like it's going completely against me being very rational. Communicate, talk, think, and process information. Maybe that does make sense, but I'm supposed to be detached. But again, I guess you could be detached yet still empathetic to somebody else's situation. They keep talking about my intuition, which is totally true. My intuition has never led me astray. Anytime I've doubted somebody's trust or their loyalty or whatever it is, I usually always know. But I do favor being rational and volatile. It's not that, oh man, this is the tea, man. Okay. Oh, wow. One of my issues in relationships, friendships, family ships is my volatility, for sure. I think that sometimes it's easier for me to just go for the jugular and just attack and be very intense in situations when it's not necessary. And I swear this all comes from my defensiveness. I feel so literally attacked right now. This is why this is exposing my birth chart, because it is going in on me right now. I can be very difficult to communicate with sometimes. Yikes! And I guess the sighing is a favored method of communication, because it's much easier to just go than to say blah, 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 and make somebody feel really bad about themselves when it's not necessary. This isn't really so much of an issue anymore, but maybe even just 6 months ago, yeah, very irrational, very difficult to communicate with, and very volatile. Let's just move past that one, because that one was, I felt a little personally victimized. Okay, next one is Venus in Virgo. Venus determines how and what you love. It indicates how you express affection and the qualities you're attracted to. Your Venus is in Virgo, meaning your romantic side is hyper and oh Oh no! Hyper analytical. You overanalyze everything and will hide your feelings until you feel absolutely certain. You can be a bit nitpicky and controlling, but it comes out of thoughtfulness and care for the other. It's in your third house, meaning that for you, love is often expressed in the things you know and are familiar with. Yeah, 1000%. I'm one of the most hyper analytical people. I was actually just talking with one of my friends today because I think like I have a crush. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I do. And I was talking to them about the situation. I was just analyzing and, you know, trying to figure out what it is that I'm feeling and if this is something that I should try and move forward with or if I should just lay low. And I don't know, you know, I was just super analyzing and they're like, chill out, you are overthinking this like crazy, just let things go as they go. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. How do I let things just flow? Because exactly as it says, I will 1000% hide my feelings until I know what's going on, because I get really scared of putting myself out there because I fear rejection, I fear being wrong or reading a situation wrong. I also fear leading somebody else on if I'm not actually feeling what I thought I may have felt before, because I've been in all of those situations before and none of them are fun situations to be in, because either it can end in heartbreak for me and in heartbreak for them, or just end in a weird, messy situation. So that's kind of crazy. That's really cool. This totally read me to a T. And as far as being nitpicky and controlling, I don't know about the controlling part, but I do know I am incredibly nitpicky and I will find reasons to choose not to like somebody or to not open myself up to them because I'll just read into situations. Riley and I were just talking about this the other day because we were talking about a guy that I was supposed to go on a date with and I was like, I think I'm over. I don't think I want to go out with him. And he was like, why? What happened? And I read him like a few exchanges of our text messages and he was like, there's literally nothing wrong. And I was like, I don't know, man. The conversation just made me cringe. I'm not into it anymore. And he said, you are one of the pickiest, weirdest people I know. Next is Mars, and Mars is in Gemini, so Mars is the planet of aggression. It determines how you assert yourself, take action, and the energy that surrounds you, particularly in your sex life, your ambitiousness, and when you're angry. Your Mars is in Gemini, meaning you assert yourself in a way that is quick and heady, and you push things forward with lots of energy, though sometimes without focus. It's in your 12th house, meaning you put a lot of energy into privacy, secrets, and introspection. I mean, this all kind of goes back to the same thing of me being way too intense. Like, I am the type of person where when I want my point to be known or I need to prove a point or whatever it is, I will 1000% just go head first and just, again, go for the jugular, and feel like this is just this is making me look like such a bad person, but sometimes these qualities can be good things because, okay, so for example, in terms of how I assert myself and take action. One time, I was at a bar with my best friend Diamond. This is maybe 2 or 3 years ago. This guy was being really just creepy and not respecting the fact that she did not want to talk to him, and she was like, I don't want to say anything, like it's just too awkward to just like go in on him, so, you know, whatever. But I got sick of it because he was clearly making her uncomfortable, and I don't want to see my friends being harassed in a bar when they're not into it. This guy wasn't doing anything, like he wasn't touching her, but he just kept saying like, hey, like come on, let's talk, da -da. And she was just like, okay, like I'm fine. So I just went in and I said, hey, check it out, she doesn't want to talk to you. Leave her alone, you're bothering us, we're trying to have a good time and you keep showing up, go away. He was like, man, okay, whatever, da -da. And then he started talking and he was really angry and it almost turned into a fight. And so yeah, I'm a bit quick and heady, I guess. Sometimes I put myself in situations where I should 1000% end up in a worse situation, but I genuinely feel I have guardian angels looking over me and protecting me because they know that I'm quick and heady and they're like, we should make sure this girl's good because otherwise she's gonna get herself into some drama that she doesn't need to get herself into. Okay, so Jupiter in Scorpio, one of the 2 social planets. Jupiter rules idealism, optimism, and expansion. It's also very philosophical. Your Jupiter is in Scorpio, meaning you grow and find understanding through passion, intensity, and finding the deep heart of things. 1000%, I've actually been this way since I was a little girl. I feel that I'm able to grow more as a person, understand somebody more, connect with somebody more through finding the deep heart of things and through passion and through intensity, because I feel that that's when you're able to see somebody at their purest form and generally at their most vulnerable. I find that my friendships have always grown and gotten stronger through the times where they were really genuinely being vulnerable, passionate, discussing something that they genuinely love, or getting into a part of their life that is maybe not the easiest thing for them to talk about. I definitely feel as though I'm able to see people in a different light and understand them better and connect with them more through those things. And I feel that it's that way for most people, but definitely rings true for me. Saturn in Pisces, the other social planet. Saturn rules responsibility, restrictions, limits, boundaries, fears, and self-discipline. So I feel like this is just a lot about morality. Your Saturn is in Pisces, meaning you struggle with your tendency to be a pushover, daydreaming, and your emotions. It's in your 9th house, meaning you have had difficulties with the creation of meaning for yourself. I wouldn't actually define myself as a pushover. I've been pushed over in life, and in those situations, it was hard for me to get out of a pushover cycle, but I also have a lot of other relationships where being a pushover is absolutely not an option. That's an interesting one. I've had relationships and friendships in the past where I allowed people to just tell me what to do or manage me or not really give me much freedom because they would just say like, go do this or go do that for me, and I was like, okay. I think what it is it's not necessarily being a pushover. I think it's that when my friends need me or they say they want something, I will do everything I can in my power to make sure that I can help them. And maybe that can be justified as being a pushover because I tend to put my needs last and I put my friends and family first to make sure that they are good before I focus on myself. That's how I most relate to it. I'm definitely a daydreamer. I've always been a daydreamer, and obviously I struggle with my emotions on a regular basis. That's what therapy is for, sis. Let's get it. Last three, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. These are ones that stay in each sign for several years, sometimes 2 decades, and it rules a generation more than it does a person. That's what I'm seeing for these. I'll just go over them very briefly, but I won't really dive into them. So it says Uranus stays in each sign for 7 years, meaning it rules a generation more than a person. It rules innovation, rebellion, and progress. Your Uranus is in Capricorn, meaning other generations are shocked by your generation's sense of responsibility, seriousness, rationality, and hunger for power. They're not wrong. It's in your 7th house, meaning that for you, this manifests in rebelling against dated expectations about close relationships and long-term partnerships. Neptune and Capricorn. Neptune stays in each sign for around 14 years, meaning it rules a generation more than a person. It rules dreams, imaginations, and the unconscious. Your Neptune is in Capricorn, meaning your entire generation finds inspiration through hard work, responsibility, seriousness, and ambition. It's in your 7th house, meaning that for you, this manifests in your ideal, verging on unrealistic and impractical about close relationships and long-term relationships. So the same thing kind of as the last time. I'm just never realistic about anything, I guess. Pluto and Scorpio. Pluto stays in each sign for up to 30 years, meaning it rules a generation more than a person. It rules power, intensity, obsession, and control. Your Pluto is in Scorpio, meaning your generation's psyche is comparatively passionate, intense, serious, private, self-obsessed, social media, and perceptive, which is actually very interesting to be put in such a way. It's in your 5th house, meaning you personally are transforming outdated definitions of romance, creativity, and pleasure. Hey, let's get it! I'm transforming it! Y'all don't even know what you got coming when it comes to falling in love with me, or working with me, or being my friend. That is my entire birth chart exposing video. I feel that I personally feel I exposed myself a lot because you guys now know a lot more about me that I wasn't necessarily prepared to share with y'all. But I thought it was really cool and really interesting because I've always been intrigued with horoscopes, and so to have learned a little bit about myself and also be able to share it with you guys was really cool. So do me a favor, if you guys know your rising, your moon, and obviously your sun sign, comment them below and give me like a little spiel on the characteristics. You could say a whole long thing, you could just say a few words, but I want to know a little bit more about y'all. That's gonna be it for this video, you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to throw the video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, obviously please make sure to hit the subscribe button. I love you guys so much. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Besitos, and see you guys next time. Bye!